Whether or not is recorded before two live guinea pigs. That's my studio audience. Hi, meteorologist Joe Bastardi here, second edition of Whether or Not. I'm the self-proclaimed last man standing in weather and climate. I love that show. I watch that show. I was always a big Tim Allen fan. All right, Tool Time. Actually, it was Home Improvement. But so I'm ripping the show off. But actually, I'm not really ripping it off because I'm referring to say, hey, I like it. It got my seal of approval. That's my imitation of a seal of approval. Okay, so anyway, I was looking on Facebook this morning, and I noticed this. Where they put a bunch of pictures on, and I noticed this that Joe Bastardi is a. What is that word over there? I was just thinking to myself, aren't people nice? Okay. Like, I haven't heard that since I was 5 years old. But so what I did was I was looking for a picture, a certain picture from way back, and it has all these different things like headlines. And one of them was this, like Joe Bastardi family. It has Joe Bastardi winter forecast, and people put stuff on. So somebody out there doesn't like me. All right, but I will tell you this: I got big hands. I look like who's the guy? Not Darth Vader. The Supreme Commander, the Emperor, yeah. But that's significant that I have hands that big, okay? So please keep that in mind. Okay, back to the main camera over here. I gotta practice doing this stuff, okay? Putting the camera on, putting the camera off. Now, today, on Whether or Not, we're going to talk about tornadoes. And we may have a big severe weather outbreak today and tomorrow. And, if you've been following us on Weather Bell, we've been talking about this for 10 days now to watch out for this pattern. So here we have a moderate risk, which is, when I say moderate risk, I say, oh, look out. All right. And an enhanced risk in here tomorrow, which means that over the period of the next couple of days, we may see 10 to 20 tornadoes in here, maybe more. But so far, we are running below normal. Now, what's interesting is that if you listen to the AGW crowd, they tell you everything is getting worse than normal. So I thought to myself, who else would I think to? I mean, I can't think to someone, can't put myself in your mind and think for you. I thought that, you know what, the robot from Lost in Space should probably become the spokesperson. Okay, for all this. Danger, Will Smith, danger. All right, but let's take a look at this. Tornadoes are below normal this year. So if you get a big outbreak today and a big outbreak next week, and then looking down the road, it just is very, very benign looking. And we came out early in the season saying that we were going to have less than average tornado activity this year. All right, and then another company put a number on it. I actually like that idea that we try to forecast a range or a number of tornadoes. We do that with hurricanes. I think you could do that with tornadoes. But we're running below normal over here. And you can see that we're under the 50 percentile. See that green line? That's the 50 percentile. I don't have my drawing instrument on here. Anyway, in 2011, if you remember the 2005 hurricane season? By the way, we're going to do a whole hurricane spiel too, but not on this video. You can only stand so much of me. I mean, I can only stand so much of me. Okay, so anyway, 2011, big tornado year. So yeah, this is a sign of climate change. Well, let's see what happened. 2012, again, that green line is the 50 percentile. The black line is 2012. 2013, below normal, actually almost a record low year. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, back up near normal, right? And then 2018, running below normal, right? And that's because strong to severe tornadoes have been decreasing across the United States as it gets warmer. Now, this is one of the things that drives a lot of us on the skeptical side of the issue. It drives us sort of nuts, and I'll tell you why. Okay, you see that line there, that's decreasing. You can see that this is the 50s, and then here we are later, and we don't have nearly as many tornadoes. and we've got more people living in harm's way. See, that's the thing. You've got more buildings, you've got more people living in harm's way, so tornadoes can do more damage than they did 50, 60 years ago. Plus, you see every single one of them. There's always someone out chasing a tornado. My son, we had a tornado 2013 here, and it was the only tornado I've ever seen. And my son's, there he is with his camera out there. He's, I guess he's 14 years old, 15 years old at the time. It went viral, right? So you see every single thing that goes on now. It's reported. And of course, if you see the destruction that can take place, what you say, oh my goodness, right? Things are getting real bad. But when you look at the actual statistics, let me see if I can do that. They're going down the other way. Now, why would that be? And see, this is something that you have to understand, that the warming that's taking place in the planet is disproportionate. All right. Now, my idea is that the oceans warm. They've warmed cyclically. I can't believe it's very tough to get my hands around the idea that the oceans are going to warm up in response to the increase of 1 molecule of CO2 out of every 10,000 molecules of air over 100 years. Maybe I understand the feedback and I understand the theory, but the oceans have warmed up. That puts more water vapor in the air, also puts more CO2 in the air, since a lot of the CO2 in the entire system is stored in the ocean. So what happens is more CO2, but more water vapor. And water vapor makes a bigger difference where it's colder. It warms the temperature. Now, how does it do that? Well, if you put more water vapor into the air, right, condensation processes are quicker. Clouds form, right? And it actually snows more. And it's been snowing more in the northern hemisphere. Now, this is all natural climate cycle theory. But what I want to point out here is there is an imbalance that has developed that wasn't there before. Because what does it take to cause tornadoes? Cold to the north and west, warm to the south and east. Well, what happens if it's warming up all over the place? You take away the mechanism for above normal tornado activity, and that's what's been going on. And we'll show you that with hurricanes too, that there's been no increase in strong to severe hurricanes. There's certainly been an increase in reporting. There's certainly been an increase in hysteria. And of course, let me tell you something. Tornadoes are like bullwhips from the sky. And the reason why we have not had the amount of fatalities is because of NOAA and what the National Weather Service and their warning system has done. It's unbelievable how many lives they've saved. Because think about this. If you have a 2-minute warning, you can't get too far away. If you have a 10-minute warning, you could get 5, 6 miles away. And you know tornadoes are generally less than a half-mile wide. So when you look, and of course the storm chasers help out tremendously, right? So I like to, myself, I like to try to forecast them, but I'm not big on chasing. My son's big on chasing, and I've gone on a couple of chases with him here in Pennsylvania, because we every once in a while get a tornado within 40, 50 miles of us. So we get in the car and try to go intercept it or do whatever. By the way, how do you like my cat? I might have brought that up before. See that thing over here? They tell me don't, it's over here. Which hand am I using? That's hand. Okay, I got it. See? I'll tell you what, adventures in broadcasting. They tell me don't take that off, so I'm not going to take it off. This is the Penn State National Wrestling NCAA Championship hat, okay? So, yeah, I mean, that never gets old. I wrestled at Penn State back in the 70s, okay? And I'll tell you what, I see these young kids today winning national titles. I say, can I give you some advice, okay? The same advice that took me to my 1-4 record. All right, and they just like go, okay, old guy, get out of here. But anyway, where was I? That's a good question. But the whole tornado thing is like a lot of things. You got to look at what happened before. Now, I said to you yesterday, by the way, you see I talk with my hands, okay? Because I have big, look, the closer I get to the camera, the bigger my hands are. Big hands. But you have to understand that you have to have perspective, okay? That's a difficult word for me. It's got more than 2 syllables. But if you have perspective and you look at the past, you say, that's interesting. In any case, what I say, NOAA has done an unbelievably great job, okay? I mean, they do a great job. And that's what, like, I love government and safety net. I mean, the safety net is something I believe that the government should do for the common defense. And the increase in accuracy in tornado forecasting has led to less deaths. But there's also a bit of a contribution in that we don't have as many tornadoes as we had before. And the Gulf of Mexico is always going to be warm and always supplying moisture, right? So a colder climate across North America is actually more conducive to more tornado activity or severe tornadoes, and that's what you see in the statistics. Now let me see if I can put the statistics back up over here, get my face off here, because that's a severe event in itself, seeing me. Okay, that's what you're seeing there. Okay, so this is 10:33. I'm supposed to like keep these kind of short. Okay, I saw this guy. This guy was 5'2". I tried to lend him money because I say, hey, you look a little short. Come on. That's funny. I don't care who you are. All right, that's it. You've had enough. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.